Hey guys, Nicky here, and welcome to another edition of Calling the Card, where I try to predict wrestling's biggest cards weeks in advance. We got SummerSlam coming up. It's just 3 weeks away, which means we are 3 Raws and 3 Smackdowns away from the biggest party of the summer. And if those 3 Raws and Smackdowns are anything like the last ones, we are in for one heck of a build. So right now, we have 3 matches that are already set. We have the match for Raw's Universal title between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. We have the match for SmackDown's WWE World title between Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, which is, okay, I could be down for that. And then we have the cross-branded match between Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. You know what? I'm okay with this now. Like, I wasn't at first because, it's Randy Orton. But the time off really seems to have helped him out and given him a little bit of a rejuvenation. So, maybe this will be great. And plus, no enhancement necessary. Wow. You monster. So, that leaves us with basically 3 more hours left to fill. Last year's SummerSlam was 4 hours, and they had 10 matches on the card. I think that they can get 11 this year if they don't screw around. So, 11 matches, that means we have to fill 8 more matches. So, here we go. Here would be my ideal SummerSlam card. But first, we need to fill out the rest of these title matches. So, who should face Miz for his Intercontinental title? Well, I think it would be a good idea to actually put it on one of the returning stars, because by doing so, you are establishing that these returning stars are going to be a big deal. They're not just placeholders and jobbers. These people are here for spots on the roster, and they are looking to make a name for themselves. And I think that the perfect person for this job is Shelton Benjamin. Shelton's already won the Intercontinental title 3 times before, so he would be a natural for the title again. Miz versus Shelton Benjamin, that would make for a great match, and on top of that, Shelton could then drop the title to someone else who's either a face or a heel, because Shelton can be either a face or a heel. Miz can't really do that. He can only really drop the title to a face because he can't play face. We've seen him as face, and it's awful. So, yeah, Miz versus Shelton Benjamin for the IC title. But what about Rusev's United States title? Well, I think that the person who should take it off of him, because I feel like it's time for him to lose the title, is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is lighting it up right now. He is my absolute favorite person in the WWE right now because he is putting on instant classic matches almost every time he's on a big stage. Like, his last match at Battleground was an all-time great. That was an unbelievable match. And kayfabe-wise and reality-wise, he should be rewarded for it. Like, he just took Kevin Owens to task. So, have him go after the United States title, take it off of Rusev. It's his first title on the main roster. Yeah, all good things. Rusev drops the United States title to Sami Zayn. Now there's the tag team titles. Now, it's being heavily implied that the New Day are going to be facing Gallows and Anderson at SummerSlam. That's one idea. They could go with that, but really, it's Enzo and Cass's time. This needs to be Enzo and Cass. Like, Enzo and Cass have been on a roll. Enzo just cut the promo of his life right before his match at Battleground, and he looked like an absolute star there. The company's obviously high on Big Cass, and it's taking place in New York City. Like, how could they not? This is the perfect time. If they want Gallows and Anderson in there, I suppose they could do a triple threat match, or even a fatal 4-way if they feel like tossing in American Alpha, but it's Enzo and Cass's time. I think that the New Day drop the tag team titles to Enzo and Cass, and move on to something else. They've had the titles long enough. It's time to move on. And then there's the women's title match, which probably will be the rematch between Sasha and Charlotte. It doesn't really need to be anybody else. They don't need to rush through this and try and find some new opponent. Charlotte versus Sasha, they put on a pay-per-view quality match on Raw last Monday, and they could probably put on another one at the actual pay-per-view. I believe it should be Sasha versus Charlotte at SummerSlam, and then after that you can move on to someone else, maybe Nia Jax, maybe someone from SmackDown, who knows, we'll figure it out then, but for right now, Sasha versus Charlotte is the match. So that gives us 6 title matches plus the cross-branded match. That's 7 matches, 4 to go, which means we can have 2 for each show. And let's get the Raw ones out first. How about Roman Reigns versus Cesaro? Cesaro has been very vocal about his spot on the card at the moment. He wants to come up. Roman Reigns is on his way down, so we're meeting kind of in the middle. And on top of that, these guys have already put on a great match. During the quarterfinals of the Survivor Series tournament, those two had pretty much the best match of the entire thing. So, yeah. Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. Worst case scenario, Cesaro loses and looks good doing it. So why not? And then the other Raw match, how about Kevin Owens versus Neville? Like, Kevin Owens was also part of that A+ quality match at Battleground, but he needs a match to help get him back up on the winning side before moving on to something big at the next pay-per-view. I think that he beats Neville here pretty decisively, and then after that, he moves on to a big program against someone in the upper card, maybe even facing whoever wins the Universal title. Maybe he faces them at Night of Champions. Kevin Owens' first one-on-one title match. I think that'd be fun. And then on the other side, yeah, 2 more SmackDown matches. One of them's obviously going to be AJ Styles versus John Cena. It has to be, you know. It's the final match of their feud. They've both won one of the matches. It's the rubber match. Styles doesn't have the club in his corner anymore. It's just AJ Styles versus John Cena. Who's going to come out on top? I'm hoping it's Styles, but if Cena wins, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And then finally, one more match. I'm thinking Apollo Crews versus Bray Wyatt. Apollo Crews needs a push yesterday, and I'm sure the WWE has no problem with giving him one. Like, he is absolutely dynamite in the ring. I love watching Apollo Crews compete. He is really, really good at this. The only problem is he doesn't really have all that much of a character. He hasn't really had that much mic time. And that problem can be solved with a feud with Bray Wyatt. Because if you're in a feud with Bray Wyatt, it kind of involves a lot of talking. So you're going to be able to develop your character a little bit. And on top of that, this is a match that Bray Wyatt can win on his way back up the card and on to bigger things. This would be good for all involved, I think. Oh, and by the way, all of these matches are on the main card. You could probably have a couple of pre-show matches, like, say, Baron Corbin versus Kalisto, or Sheamus versus Darren Young. Either of those work, I think, for the pre-show. So yeah, that is SummerSlam all the way through. 13 matches in total if you count those 2 pre-show matches I just mentioned. I think that's a pretty damn good card. You have tons of good matches, and yeah, there you go. That is my perfect scenario for calling the card for SummerSlam. Go ahead and put your own card in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.